Welcome back to another episode of Platform. I'm Trey, I'm your host, and this is the podcast where I get the opportunity to interview successful business owners, influencers, business leaders, and talk about their successes, talk about how they built their communities, and talk about the various methods of marketing that they used to build their communities. And today, I get the honor of interviewing a very, let's say, impactful friend, guest, colleague of mine that I've recently had the opportunity to experience a lot more with. She is a dietitian, detox practitioner, and last but definitely not least, she is a former bodybuilding competitor. And allow me to introduce to you, CALLYN HAHN.
Thank you so much. It's an honor and privilege to be here. And Trey, I just know we have a special friendship, and you have been a huge part of my recent business growth. And I genuinely appreciate all the incredible insight and knowledge that you've gained through your personal experiences, and then being able to share that with me. It's been so incredibly special to be able to
Thank you.
really take on all of this knowledge and insight that you have. And I think that's what a lot of people just really don't know is the true Trey.
Yeah, I think you're right. A lot of people don't get to experience the true Trey.
You have those hidden like gem skill sets and that knowledge, and you can see things from such a perspective that it has been very valuable for me to be able to visit with you a lot about business. And yeah, even though I have the business years underneath my belt, there's still the valuable moments that you've had with the elites that you've been able to showcase with me. And I think that has been really special, especially this week as we've been working on some projects together.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I yeah, it's definitely like a rare opportunity that I develop an interest to want to sit and like talk to most people. And so like when you mention like a lot of people don't really get to know Trey, right? So I'm usually in and out. If you probably see me working and once I'm done, I'm gone. I'm not sticking around. But and that's kind of how you first, we first kind of came in contact and first met each other
Yeah, I
was.
mean, we actually saw each other at a few events, and you always stood out to me because you were that hard worker that when we needed to see you, we saw you, and then you were gone. And all of a sudden, I remember seeing the work that you did, and it was up 2 hours later, or, things that I'm like, man, I thought that would have taken him all night to do, and just expedited deliverables that's what caught my eye, that I'm like, wow, if I don't know if he has a team, if he's doing this by himself, but like that was impressive to be able to see just the fast delivery. So I think initially when I first saw you at events, that's what really caught my eye.
Wow. I think that's well, not too many people get to see that part, but that right there, like I think you and I had talked about this like briefly recently, is I learn a lot from getting feedback from people that get to experience me or see my work. And so you telling me that makes me feel seen in another way that I did not know people see me as because
Yeah.
I'm always like this. But I do appreciate that. I don't want to make this about me.
Yeah.
I really like there is so much about you that I really want to share with the audience, and I want to start with like this is a marketing podcast, but we're not going to like nail it through their throats. But I do want to talk to you about like what were some of the when it came to developing the business, getting your first client, right? Getting that first client. What was one of the biggest struggles that you dealt with acquiring that first client, if any? Like some people, it's not a struggle, but what were some of those struggles? I want to talk about those.
Yeah, that's so cool that you asked that question because my first client actually came to me asking me for advice, and I didn't even have an offer yet. I didn't have a program, I didn't have a business, I didn't have an offer.
Okay.
And so I want to like really kind of, dive into when the business really started. I had one very impactful day that happened in my life where I was working for corporate and it was 2020. And with 2020, a lot of the corporate departments were cut. And I was one of those individuals who was cut within corporate. And that happened in one day. I decided in that same day, my relationship no longer served me. And then I decided, I lived in California at the time, and I decided that that location no longer served me.
What part were you, North or South Carolina?
I was in Fresno. I was in Central California.
Nice, okay.
So all in one day, I had massive life-changing events. And I decided to pack all my things up in a U-Haul and start driving. And I've gone with my story on our platform. You'll hear like the actual full story, like more in depth. But I'm trying to get to the short version because there's a lot of goodness that comes after this. When I got in that U-Haul, had all my stuff packed, my car was in a car hauler right behind it, and I just get in this U-Haul and I start driving. And I'm just thinking, when I was younger, I traveled all across America. I had so many friends from coast to coast that I just get out my phone while I'm driving because I've got 3 days to drive all the way across the U.S.
Right.
And I started just calling up old friends. And just being on the phone with some of my old friends, they knew I was in bodybuilding at the time.
Okay.
So
I'm trying to follow the timeline.
Yep. I was in bodybuilding. I had decided to start my life all over again, was in this U-Haul driving. And as I'm visiting with some of these friends, they're asking me about, hey, when's the next bodybuilding show that you're going to do?
Yeah.
And we got into conversation of just health and wellness. And one of the gals that I was visiting with, I didn't know, but she had Crohn's disease. And she asked me, she said, hey, I know I need to eat better. Can you help me?
But she knew that this was something you could help her with.
Absolutely, because she had
okay.
seen me diet through bodybuilding, and she thought there might be something to you understanding nutrition.
Okay.
Can you help me lose weight? I have Crohn's disease. I've tried working with all these specialists. I actually just want to work with someone that I know personally.
Okay.
So I think it was that personal connection there where she didn't trust doctors. She didn't trust anybody, with those types of credentials because they had failed her. And her knowing that I was going to be brutally honest with her, I was going to, do as much as I could with her. I just decided, I'm like, sure, let me help. I'll help in any way that I can. But I also know my credentials can only take me so far with you.
Right. Did you even know what to charge for something like that at the time?
Well, at the time, I wasn't a dietitian.
Right.
I didn't have any coaching certificates at all for even fitness. I was just a bodybuilder. And all I knew was my experience going through bodybuilding.
Right.
So I was definitely underqualified to take on any clients. I had no offer.
Right?
I had no platforms to take payment on. I had nothing.
Yeah.
So she had introduced me to the Venmo app.
Gotta love that.
I know. So, and we just started. We exchanged. I think it was like $100 a month for my nutrition guidance.
Okay.
And that's what we started with. Yeah. That drive, or that conversation, gave me the confidence that as I continued the drive, I just kept calling more people. I'm like, who else can I get as a nutrition client?
Wow.
And by the time I got to Illinois, so from California to Illinois, I had 10 clients.
And these are all people you knew, though?
They were all people I knew that admired me because of the hard thing that I did.
Wow.
I did the bodybuilding.
Wow.
And they saw how I was a normal person, and in 3 months, I got in the best shape of my life.
Yeah.
And they were like, CALLYN, you're a normal person. If you can do it, I can do it. Mm-hmm. So my journey was very inspirational for them to see my whole fitness transformation. And with COVID, I think everybody was just in a place mentally that most people are locked in their homes.
Oh, yeah.
They need to work out.
Yeah, that was that time.
I think everybody was seeking a time for just feeling better because emotionally they were scared.
Yeah.
And they were and it was weighing down on their body, just feeling all of those emotions.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to ask about the phone calls you made.
Yeah.
Like on the way back.
Yeah.
Because that first one, they reached out to you. Mm-hmm. Was there a commonality like that you experienced with each phone call, in regards to like response or emotion or how they responded to you even asking them about offering them what you called them about? Like, was there a commonality in how they responded to it? Was it like, oh, I've been needing this? Or was it like, oh, I'm glad you called? Or like, I didn't even think about that, but that would be amazing if you did. Like, how was that response?
Well, at the time on social media, I was posting my before and after pictures. And I think
Okay.
people were so shocked by how massive of a change I had sculpted my body.
Wow.
And it almost looked unrealistic. That I think they saw my transformation. They're like, I want that. Whatever confidence you gained from that, I want it. And I really, as I look back at it, all the people that either I had called or they had reached out to me, I had known them my whole life since I was 8 years old.
Wow.
So having like a long bond with someone, that level of trust was just there for years. They were buddies that I used to drink beer with all the time. We'd go to the bars, we'd hang out, we're eating fast food, we're like self-destruct mode,
So you were definitely like
Yes.
the one that's,
I was the trailblazer.
Yeah.
I was by far the trailblazer, and they're like, okay, well, we've been around Callan our entire life.
yeah.
We know what she's capable of. We know she's hardworking. We're just as hardworking as her. We can do it too.
Right.
So I think it was some level of them borrowing belief from me and the belief that I could do it, then they could do it.
So, okay. And yeah, that answered the question. Like, as far as the first client, for the most part, there was no struggle. There was the work that you put in
Yeah.
that made it possible for you to even,
Yeah, as soon as I got to my parents'
Yeah.
house, I set up my first plan. And I think it was a PowerPoint presentation.
yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I had no idea what I was doing. I put a meal plan together, something that I could email them and, be able to like make adjustments for them and putting
Right.
fitness plans together. And at that point in time, I was looking through the lens of let me take on 10 clients and see if this is something I actually enjoy doing. Because I loved going to the gym. I loved taking care of myself. I loved the confidence that I gained through bodybuilding. I loved the woman that I became. And I think that's where my mindset is I don't want to get people in the best shape of their life. I want them to become that woman or that man that's just deep down inside of them that is raring to come out. But because society has told them they couldn't, they feel stuck.
yeah,
And when I went through my bodybuilding transformation, she was unleashed. That woman who was told, oh, you don't have enough muscle, you can't do that. You are too pale, you're never going to look like that. All those like little kind of stabbing comments that you've had all throughout your life sometimes stick with you because you associate it with an identity.
yeah,
Bodybuilding broke all of those identities because when you go on stage, I was no longer pale. I was tan just like everybody else. I was fit just like everybody else.
yeah,
I was walked into a community where they celebrate getting in the best shape of your life versus the society that I grew up in. They demonized you for trying to look better than everyone else.
that's
And
true.
having that
Yeah,
upbringing,
that was a time.
it was, for me to be that trailblazer, it took a lot of grit. Because I was going against everything everyone had ever taught me. I just remember like going to the pool and my mom's like, make sure you wear a cover up. Like, don't show too much skin. And then going on the bodybuilding stage and being next to nothing. Just confident as all get out.
Bikini
So
outfit and everything.
that
Yeah,
whole transformation allowed me to look at perspectives different. It was not only the perspective of the industry, it was this perspective of how I was raised. It was the perspective of who I was surrounding myself with. Everything in my life was a ripple effect of change after that.
And okay, so there was a point I want to go back to, right? And then I want to come back to the ripple effect. You getting into the bodybuilding, right? And I just want to, I know you did it without even expecting it to turn into what it turned into. The intention behind it was totally different.
Yeah.
But it turned into you like building this successful business that you run today. And like, if you had known that becoming a bodybuilder is just like, I'm curious to know if you had known that bodybuilding would have done this to your life the way it did, would you have done it sooner?
Yeah.
You would have?
100%.
Really?
So most people don't know how I got involved in bodybuilding, but
Yeah.
it wasn't because I wanted
Yeah.
to have the hot body
Right.
or have shredded abs, or, you know, most people want to do bodybuilding for the aesthetics. I did it because I was in corporate and I had a project to develop muscle enhancing products. So in a board meeting, I was the smart aleck that said, hey, someone should do a bodybuilding show.
Yeah.
It'd be great. We'll get all the information, we'll bring that back, and then we'll develop the best products. And I remember our CEO sitting there looking at me. He's like, great, you can do that, CALLYN. And I was like, wait, no. And I don't want to work out. I don't work out. Like, I eat pizza and drink Red Bull. Like, I'm solid. I'm good. And I didn't realize that walking away from that boardroom, I was like, could I even do a bodybuilding show? You know, like, once he planted it in my brain, like, great, CALLYN, that's your next project. I was
Right.
like, wait, can I even do this? So I started researching the industry substantially more and realizing the athletes that came out of the bodybuilding world, they were business athletes.
Oh, they're
They were entrepreneurs. Like, when I actually looked at
Wow.
what these athletes did for a living, they were entrepreneurs, they were business owners, they were like, you know, they had lots of sponsors, they were athletes traveling all across the world. When you looked at the pro spectrum, and I'm like, okay, this industry has high caliber people in it. And then I looked at the Olympia and I saw, you know, the top 7 of the top 10 were coached by one man. And I'm like, great, this guy's got to be great at coaching.
Right.
So I went all in and invested in this coach, learned from the best. And I was able to have the level of success that I did is because I chose wisely.
Wow.
But I also chose wisely not only with a coach who is talented himself with weight cutting sports, but he also had a large network. So the athletes that I was competing with were all of high caliber. So being able to converse with them at different trainings that we went to, or if there were any seminars, and really being able to see the bodybuilding industry from the elite perspective. Because there also is a local perspective where a lot of people start getting in with their local fitness trainers, you know, who maybe don't have the experience that my coach did. So I was just privileged to go in to the sport with the right mindset, to go in with like that champion mentality of like, I'm going to work from the best. I'm going to learn from the best. I'm going to surround myself with the best in this industry because I want to walk away with the best experience that I possibly can.
Okay.
But the reason I bring that up is, you know, with like local coaches,
Yeah.
sometimes when you are working with, and I want to word this the right way, and I think this is why I'm taking my time with this, because if you have a coach that doesn't have the experience, whether it's mentally with an athlete, physiology, understanding, and knowing how to coach that athlete in, but then also having some connections in the industry for a little political pull. Because I have seen this before where there are new coaches out there that will dial in an incredible athlete, but they don't have the pull at the end to really represent their athlete well.
Oh, it sucks.
And when people talk about bodybuilding being a political sport,
Politics,
unfortunately, it is just like any industry. It happens. And you always want to make sure that you are on a side where it is, or competing in a space where it is honest. And I think that's what I valued about working with my coach, is he always put me on an honest stage.
Okay.
And that to me allowed me to walk away with that great experience.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing when you get into business anywhere. You want to have those honest partnerships.
Exactly. You want your community,
You want to
your
have
network
honest
to be.
clients that represent you well.
Yeah.
So I really think that that one industry and that one opportunity taught me in so much in such a short amount of time
Right.
that really
And
carried
that was,
me
what was this time span?
further. 3 months.
3 months.
Yep.
3 months. 3 months is the number this week.
Yeah,
That's
3 months. Well, it was that very first prep was 3 months.
Yeah.
And I just learned so much. And I just remember carrying a lot of that into business. Because I did the really hard thing for 3 months. And then I'm like, great, okay, in business, I'm going to coach these 10 clients for 3 months. And I'm going to see how it goes.
That's still like the 90-day rule. They're like transformation typically happens within a 90-day. Like it takes 90 days. And that's like for mental transformation usually could take less. Like I think it's 27 to 30 days, something like that, right?
Yeah.
I think it's a lesser time, but physically for that level of transformation,
Yeah.
it seems that that's the average.
Yeah.
Because one, you do have to also have mental, and then there's a lot. So I can understand why that would take a little bit longer.
And one thing that people don't understand when you are going on a bodybuilding prep is everybody has these obstacles. And when we talk about mental barriers, there are certain times when you're going to have emotional breakdowns. And we actually encourage it in our space. And the reason is, if you have all these pent-up emotions and you don't know how to disclose them, it is really hard to really be successful in any arena of life if you don't know how to process certain things.
Right.
And bodybuilding creates that spaces because you are taking your body to such an extreme physically. I mean, you are in pain, you're trying to recover, you're at a calorie deficit. Like there's a lot of things that are going on. And when you persevere, it almost breaks your spirit. So I said this analogy to someone one time, and have you ever seen a wild Mustang? Like a wild horse out in the wilderness. So I'm gonna describe it for you. So a wild Mustang is nearly impossible to catch.
Okay.
Like you might have to dart it from a helicopter.
Wow.
They are smart and they have a high level of spirit where they do not want to be captured. So when you finally capture a wild Mustang, it takes a very long time to what they call is break their spirit.
Okay. Explain.
And it's breaking their spirit in a sense to where their bodies can finally feel calm. So
I believe I've seen
the
this
first
before,
time
yeah.
they try to put a halter on it, they're trying to desensitize the horse.
Yeah.
They're trying to calm down its nervous system so that it can start regulating. And in doing it, you have to co-regulate with the animal in order to help it calm down. But when its spirit breaks, it can finally feel free. And we translate that in bodybuilding. And I tell a lot of my athletes, your fight or flight spirit has to be broken in order for you to reach a sense of calm that your body desires.
Yeah.
And I really feel like that is something that most people miss from an opportunity or experience to do hard athletic training.
Yeah.
Or to do the hard business transitions. Sometimes in the process, you have to work in a specific manner that allows your spirit to change. Thus allowing that ripple effect and domino effect for other things in your life to change.
Right.
And when you see the other side of that, it's just really beautiful.
And you've witnessed it, I'm guessing, multiple times and time again.
That's the thing. Like me going through my personal,
Right.
awakenings, spirit breakings, whatever you want to call it, it has been life-changing. And I truly feel like that is what life is all about. It is going through those transformations
Yeah.
And you almost feel like you're living 5 different identities.
Right.
Because I've been the fitness CALLYN, I've been the business CALLYN, I've been the livestock CALLYN.
Yeah.
You know, I've been so many different versions of myself that I had a friend tell me one time, they were like, well, you're just kind of like an actress. Like, nobody knows who you are.
Oh, wow.
Because
Many
I wasn't
people-
necessarily shape shifting, but I was shifting my identity so fast.
Yeah.
They were like, you're this, then you're that. And you're like, we see you have all this success. And it's like, if you want like, if I look at anyone and I'm like, ooh, I really admire her.
Yeah.
If I say it once, it's just, you know, kind of a fluke. But if I like keep thinking like, man, I really admire her. Like, she's really good at business, or,
Yeah.
you know, she's got a really great physique. If I desire it enough to say it twice,
Yeah.
that means it really stood out to me.
Yeah. And in order to even like, and I think that's like, that's something like, I think you had just said it. Like, a lot of people miss that part. It's like, you want to be this person,
Yeah.
but you're not acknowledging the big fact that, hey, this person can't become this person if this person remains this
Yeah.
person. This person has to become someone new.
Yeah.
This
your
person
your
will not-
current
yeah.
behavior, your current
Yeah.
situation, none of that can evolve
Into the
unless
person-
you
yeah.
change those behavioral loops.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
when you start shifting the perspective so that the behavioral loops can change.
Yeah. What was your first aha moment? I got it, like, because I feel like we've all had that moment that was like, whoa, like, my life's just changed. So like, was it during the training process?
It was like the
it-
first 2 weeks. The
Yeah?
first 2 weeks,
Just like that?
when I had gone in meal prep mode,
Yeah.
I was eating all the healthy foods. Okay, well, before bodybuilding, I was eating Casey's gas station pizza. I was eating Taco Bell. Taco Bell was my favorite. Let's go. I was also drinking Red Bull all the time. I had drank like 5 Red Bulls a day. I was pounding like all of these energy drinks, all this fast food. Yeah, I know, it was amazing. I was living my best life and I was killing it in corporate. And then I do my first 2 weeks of meal prep where I'm eating chicken, peanut butter. I had some vegetables and oats. Oats was the other one. I was highly sensitive to all of those foods. So I went from eating what most people would call a poor diet,
Yeah.
very poor, and then I went to eating healthy bodybuilding foods, and I had gained 5 pounds, and I felt terrible.
And that was your moment of like, whoa.
I had
Like-
called my coach, and I was like, I swear I've done everything right.
Yeah. That can be, was that
I was like,
disappointing or
what?
how
Like,
did
why
that-
don't I feel good?
Yeah.
I don't feel healthy.
And that was 2 weeks
Yeah, he had made me take a food sensitivity test.
and no result. Well, a negative result.
I was sensitive to all of the foods he had me eating. So I felt terrible.
And I imagine your first, of course, you understand now why that's the case.
Yeah.
But at the time, were you thinking like, am I just not cut out for this? Like,
Yeah,
were
I
you,
thought I was
like-
broken.
Yeah.
I was like, my body's broken. I can't handle a bodybuilding diet. And everything felt so hard because I was like,
Yeah.
I don't like chicken. I don't like peanut butter. I don't like oats. I was like, I don't like any of this food. Well, there was a reason why I didn't like it.
Right.
So my body didn't like it. My body was non-responsive to those foods
Right.
because there was something going on inside that was not allowing me to digest them properly.
Right.
So we reworked the nutrition,
Oh my goodness.
and
Please tell me
then
this worked.
oh yeah, it worked.
Okay.
I was on like asparagus, sweet potatoes, and steak. Like that was about it.
That sounds
so
better
good.
than the other diet.
So good, I know.
What?
So we did the shift because he was asking me questions like about my childhood. He's like, kind of like, what were you eating as a kid? And so
Yeah.
we restructured the meal plan. And I was thinking like, ooh, like meat and potatoes, let's go. Like I could do this all day long.
Yeah.
And then I dropped 11 pounds
In 2 weeks.
in 2 weeks.
5 pounds.
So yeah, the
Gained.
first 2 weeks I gained 5 pounds, and then I dropped 11 pounds the second 2 weeks.
Okay.
And that's when he's like, yes, I can work with you.
Why is it that I have to ask this question? because if you're not in bodybuilding, you don't understand any of that experience. You
Yeah.
probably never heard about it unless you got family or whatever. Why, in terms of attracting people into that industry, like, because I'm sure, like, why not? Why aren't these types of facts and experiences and like about health put out there so that people can one even just learn about it or learn what bodybuilding can do for you? Like, is there even a space that you can go to, or like outside of the communities that are built for it? Is there somewhere you can see a bodybuilding banner, hear it on the radio? Maybe like what type of marketing does
Yeah.
bodybuilding
So
offer
there
right now?
are some incredible podcasts out there.
Okay.
There are, platforms that there's a lot of educational seminars. There are a lot of very active communities within bodybuilding.
Okay.
A lot of them are intimidating for the everyday
new
person.
people, like
Yes.
people that- yeah.
And that's what I want to speak on behalf of is when you're looking into new people coming in,
Yeah.
sometimes when they have never seen their abs before, it is very intimidating to think that could be possible for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
And if someone has lived 30 years and they've never seen anything and never gotten these results, they start to believe that, oh, they're genetically not blessed. Their body can't do that. And they start this belief system because they haven't proven to themselves yet.
They can.
But here's the thing. We just took in a 43-year-old woman into a bodybuilding show who had never seen her abs before. And she's like, who I became on the other side? She's like, yeah, it's really cool. I have abs right now. But she said, it is,
She's like, but
she's
that's
like,
not what-
I'm 43 years old and this is the most confident I've ever been in
Yeah.
my skin in my
Wow.
entire life.
Wow.
And there is no age limit to bodybuilding. And that's the beautiful part. It's not for 20-year-olds. It's not for 30. It's for everyone. I shouldn't say not just for 20-year-olds, not
Yeah.
just for 30-year-olds. It's available to everyone.
So there's like the transformation goes deeper than just the physique, the look.
It is who you become
yeah, it's who you-
with
yeah.
keeping the promises to yourself every single day for 3 months.
Yeah.
Because just think of from a business standpoint. When somebody's like, I'm going to post on social media for 30 days straight. How many people can even do that? Hold that promise to
Oh, no.
themselves.
Yeah, no, they can't.
Let
It's
alone
rough.
eat clean, go to the gym, drink your water, take care of you, shower.
Yeah.
Do the simple things. Like most people think bodybuilding is crushing it in the gym every single day. They have rest days.
Yeah.
They have deload days. They have days where they give their body grace is because they're in it for the long haul. Like they're thinking of the 60-year-old version of themselves, the 70-year-old, the 80-year-old version.
Yeah.
That's the bodybuilding mentality is they're lifting heavy weights so they can live a fruitful life in the long run.
Yeah, I kind of created this saying. I don't know if I created it, but I formulated it after I experienced the power of consistency. And it's something along the lines of consistency and motivation. Consistency breeds motivation, not the other way around. Some people think they need motivation in order to be get consistent. However, it's being consistent, doing the thing every day that builds that confidence. One,
The identity.
the confidence, the identity.
I mean, if you say, I go to the gym every single day, you become the identity
Yeah, like
of a person who goes to the gym every single day.
Oh, he's at the gym. Yeah, he's always at the gym. Yeah, that's where he's gonna be. He's
Yeah.
at the gym. Yeah.
Or
And
if you video every single day, you become the guy who's going to be the videographer. If I am the dietitian every single day, I am the diet. You have to think of it from that perspective. The reps that you get in and the amount of times that you do something builds that credibility for identity.
Yeah.
And most people, if you have a goal,
Yeah.
make for certain that's the identity you are ready to become.
Ooh. That's powerful. And sometimes people don't know really what they're asking for. That's the thing too. Sometimes like they see something, they're like, oh, I like that, and everything's not always what it seems. Sometimes it's like actually the opposite of what they want.
Yeah. You have to be ready for that level of success, because if you're
Yeah.
not ready for it to receive it,
Yeah.
then you're just going to be self-sabotaging.
Yeah. No, that's that. So I want to ask you this question. When someone and you've been doing this a while, so have you experienced someone that have gone through the 90 days and at the end of it felt anything but complete? Granted, they may not have won. Like, they probably didn't even reach, like, but because of the consistent in the 90 days, was there still a silver lining on the other side of it for them because of the experience? Or and have you seen the opposite, where it's like they just weren't, they were defeated at the end of 90
Yeah,
days?
so the power of having a coach for 3 months
Yeah.
is to walk you through all the phases. Because in the beginning, you're going to be like, yes, I'm really proud of myself. I just did it for 2 weeks. You're not going to feel that same energy the whole prep.
Yeah.
When we talk about obstacles, we anticipate certain meltdowns to happen. And it's almost like a 2-year-old toddler tantrum that adults have.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
We have them.
But I went through it.
Yeah.
And I know how to effectively coach people through it. Because I actually want to get them to that breaking point, is because that's what gets them dialed in faster.
Yeah.
Is like, the sooner we can get you to that temper tantrum that you're going to have, and we can get you through that.
So your goal is to get us there like immediately.
I want to get you to, I want to speak to your inner child. I really want to uproot the trauma.
Yeah.
And I want to handle it immediately. I don't want to tuck it in the closet and handle it later. I want that to come out first.
Yeah.
Because that is obstacle number 1. When you can effectively coach someone past that toddler tantrum,
Yeah.
it's golden from there. Because they have the aha moment of like, that right there, that little meltdown is what has always stopped me from going to the gym in the past. So when they break that,
Ooh.
now they want to go to the gym because they know they have conquered level 1. Then we take them to level 2 or obstacle 2, and you need to conquer that. So there are certain levels that you have to conquer on a prep, and that's why so many people walk away with unlimited confidence.
You're making me want to look into acquiring the bodybuilding industry as a client. Because I'm just like, I don't know enough about it. 2, I'm sure I'm not the only one that would love or care to even know.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm sure they could be doing more, because for someone who is like, who cares about mindset, who cares like development, who cares about personal development, who cares about keeping himself in shape. Like, yes, I do seek resources for mindset. I do seek resources for personal development. I do seek resources for healing. But not once has bodybuilding ever came up in my search for any of those. And I feel like that's a problem. Because it helps with everything that I just mentioned, plus the physique and the body and, you know, just performance. And so I really, like, I'm fascinated with what the bodybuilding industry is doing and what I've learned from you, from just talking to you about like all the information you can share about it. It's like grown my interest in it. And I want to know for you, because it helped you acquire your first client.
Yeah. So I actually, the credibility that you get from the industry.
Yes, that's what I
want to showcase a little bit of that, because I walked away with 0 credentials, but the fact that I had done bodybuilding, that was my credential.
Exactly. And that's like, so I'm like, there's power there.
Yes. And it's very, like, when I would walk into like high performance business rooms, you know, different summits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I was the bodybuilder that walked in the room. Immediately, I was on a pedestal. is because people perceived me as she does hard things.
She's steady, like she's consistent.
Like she's a boss.
Yeah.
Like she's a person I want to get to know.
Yeah.
Because when you can hold yourself to that standard of not only getting the best physique of your dreams, like for some people that it doesn't matter for them, but to have that mental fortitude that comes with it, I think that right there.
It's rare. It's very rare.
Yeah, because not a whole lot of people can spend 3 months doing that. And the crazy part, the food thing was easy for me.
Yeah. And you spent how many years in that industry, by the way?
3 years.
3 years. So it wasn't just 3 months.
Yeah. So I did my initial prep is where a lot of that initial business stuff happened.
Right.
Was during my first prep. And yeah, I spent 3 years. That's how much I loved the industry. And then there were some health concerns that happened that abruptly ended my career. And we can always talk about that in another episode. But I still coach athletes into the industry, and I am so thankful that the bodybuilding industry is theirs because what it does for people is very valuable.
Within the industry, because right now I've been introduced to two different industries: the pageant industry and the bodybuilding industry. Very similar, just very different in many ways as well.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's a competition, and so the question I have is within the journey for the competitor, what resources are provided to them during this other than the coach? Are the resources dependent upon the coach that they have, or is there a bodybuilding industry like hub portal where it's like, hey, this is how to manage through this process of
so you have to work one-on-one with the coach.
Okay.
Because everybody is going to respond differently. So like back to the point where I was sensitive to all those foods that my bodybuilding coach first gave me, we had to immediately pivot, restructure the plan, and then he therefore could coach me then.
Gotcha.
But until we fixed that problem, and then he also took me in, and I had my toddler tantrum right before my show. I was about like 3 weeks out.
So it took you about almost 3 months to...
Yeah. Because I had always held my emotions in. I wouldn't let them surface.
Yeah.
And it took me all the way to the almost end of my prep. Where I was sitting on the leg press and I was breaking down in tears. I was in like an emotional meltdown on the leg press. And that was the hardest exercise for me to do, was trying to push PRs on the leg press. And I remember this gentleman was so kind. He came up to me and he's like, honey, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm just going through something right now. Just leave me alone.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was saying with the kindness in my heart, but I got to go through this. And I just like remember walking out of the gym that day and I was like, I needed that so bad. Like it was emotions that were pent up for years, but being able to break through that just weeks before my first competition, had I had it sooner, my prep, and I think that's where I gained the experience of why I want all my athletes to have it as soon as possible.
Yeah.
It's because the whole rest of your prep is effortless. That's the hardest obstacle to break. That's why we do it first.
Right, and that's okay. Well, he tried to at least do it. Was his goal was to break that as soon as possible?
He had a different approach.
Okay, it wasn't to get that as soon as possible. It was something else.
He coached a different way.
Okay, and that's
but psychologically, I mean, I had gone to school for psychology. I'd gone to school for veterinary medicine, all of that, and I just knew psychologically, I'm like, ooh, I wish I would have had that.
Yeah.
Earlier on in my experience, because all of my other preps. As soon as I would start them, it would happen sooner. I would let the emotions flood in the beginning. I would have my, little fit, and then I was solid the whole rest of the prep. Yeah. And when I discovered that through personal experience, I started trialing with a lot of my clients and seeing like, okay, how can we get them to get to that point sooner? Because I see higher success rate when that does happen.
Yeah, because it's eventually going to happen, but
Yeah.
rather it happen sooner. It kind of reminds me of the saying that's like what's easy on or what's hard on the front end makes things easier on the back end.
Yes,
So
yes, 100%.
if you make things harder for yourself first as opposed to taking the easy route, then at some point it gets easier. And the you kind of gave in every time we talk, you kind of give me these aha moments. Usually it's internal. Sometimes I don't like let it out immediately, but I think, and you correct me if I'm wrong, I think you just helped me define the best way that one individual person can, I'm gonna use the word market themselves, is to become the kind of person that people want to learn from or know or even be like.
Absolutely.
Become that person, and then people will just come to you. I think that's
attraction marketing.
Exactly. And wow, just become the person. Like
when I was actively competing, I never ran ads. I never had to cold call. I never had to reach out in DMs. I never had to do anything.
Yeah.
It was the easiest business I had ever launched because when you're in the best shape of your life, people just come to you.
Become.
And then when you are, off for a few years, you haven't been, training your body the way you had. I remember, there was a colleague that we were working with, and she's like, you would get more clients if you look the part. And I was like, that is a very valid statement. I was like, I'm not going to disagree with that, but one should be at a healthy body fat percentage, and it should be normalized for someone to still feel healthy, but maintain not a lean physique as if I were on stage. Because I was extremely lean for 3 years because I was trying to compete for nationals and get my pro card. So when you're holding a low body fat percentage for 3 years, it's very hard in your hormones.
Yeah, and I couldn't imagine like someone like, and I think you showed me a picture of your trainer, of your coach. Like, he wasn't like all the people he trained. He didn't look like all the people he trained. Granted, I didn't see his shirt off, but he didn't look like that. And I can't imagine someone even maintaining that like amazing figure for as long as he's probably been coaching while coaching.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's why you see like a lot of the pros, the Olympians, they have a lot of sponsorships to compensate, because when you are at a leaner body fat percentage, you lose a little bit of mental integrity.
Yeah.
Because you're at such a low energy expenditure, your brain is idling at a lower level.
Right.
So for me, since I run such a high powered business to where my brain has to be firing on all cylinders, I have to uphold a greater body fat percentage so that I have plenty of energy and mental capacity so that I can serve everyone else around me.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes so much. So I understand like where that could be valid and invalid. I kind of lean more toward the invalidity of that statement. Like,
but when you get to this position and maturity in the industry, you also realize talent trumps
oh my goodness, yes,
what you look like.
And knowledge, actually, talent and knowledge. And I mean, you look at the people who, I mean, the football coaches in the NFL. Are they the best looking ones on the field?
No, but they know strategy.
Exactly. And so, one, I think it's, you've done it. It's proven. You've helped other people do it.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like the thousands of clients that we've had, we developed a proven method and a system that is bulletproof. And because we've even tried someone to fail on the dialed in method. And even if they're doing it at 50% capacity, they're still getting results. Like, that's how incredible the dialed in method is.
CALLYN, I want to help. I definitely want to help you, like, become the most incredible, like the guy that you went to for your, like, you saw him. I want people to see you the way you saw him. It was like, I need him. And the way that I'm seeing this, like, because of I come from a different background, so I definitely kind of formulate things a little differently. It's like people who like numbers versus people who like water paint and pastels.
Yeah.
It's like we see different things.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, what I'm seeing for you right now in that industry is like T-hat.
T-hat. Y'all don't know this, but I wear a T-hat.
Yes, but it's T-hat. It's like it's the unexpected, whatever they want to call standard of what it takes to be a coach
Yeah.
that I see you breaking. And like, how many women coaches are there in that industry versus men? Like, is it?
It's I would consider male dominated. There's several women coaches, but they have smaller teams. A lot of the
Okay.
male coaches are going to have like the bigger, more reputable teams.
For obvious reasons, I imagine.
Just more years.
Oh, okay.
A lot of women when they get in the industry, when they start having kids,
Ah,
they want to spend more time with their family. They want to be present. I think that really changes the game for female coaches. There are some elite ones in the industry, and I can even classify myself under that. Is I don't have kids,
right.
but when I do have a family, am I going to be going to a bunch of shows? Most likely not.
Yeah.
Unless I
I
have,
was gonna ask you
some
that. I was like,
elite athletes that we're dialing in, but bodybuilding's tough. And I'm going to speak from a coach's perspective because when you go to these shows, athlete check-in is like Friday night from like 4 to 7, but you stay up with your athlete for a little while and you make sure they go to bed.
oh,
But what can't happen? Your athlete can't be so depleted that they sleep in the morning. So what does a coach normally do? We get up early with them to make sure that they make their hair and makeup appointment first thing in the morning. So coaches barely sleep at all for these bodybuilding shows is because we want to make sure that our athlete doesn't miss anything and that they have the best experience that they possibly can.
yeah.
And, part of that is just, kind of being there with them and making for certain that if their alarm didn't go off, you're knocking on their door like, hey, you need to be in hair and makeup right now.
Okay. You kind of made me. That was a lot.
Yeah.
To become a coach in that industry, is there some sort of registration, license, qualification that you need in order to coach for that specific industry?
Most people are just gliding by with a NASM certificate, which is a basic fitness certificate.
So when you do come into the competition, you have to present your coach, or does your coach present you, the competitor, into the competition?
So the coach is going to go with the competitor.
Go with the competitor.
Yep. So, and we just call them teams.
Gotcha.
Like dialed in coaching is a team, like there's different teams, and whether you have one athlete there, whether you have 10 athletes there,
Gotcha.
it's
Okay.
still a representation of your team.
Gotcha.
So the coach is, the one who is guiding you through everything, taking you to your tanning, taking you to check-in.
Yeah.
Now, some athletes go solo where they have virtual coaches, like their coaches
Okay,
maybe
yeah.
all the way across the country. And I did this with my coach. He would, even though he's in California, he would send me to a show in Texas, and he's like, hey, I'm not going to be there physically, but send me your check-in pictures in the morning, and I'll make sure you're dialed in.
Wow.
Yep.
And what's in it for the coaches? Like, what type of is this? Like, what's the salary look like? What are they got their own prices that they charge? Is this like a?
They're all across the board. There are
Gotcha.
some higher ticket coaches. There are some that, are try to stick within standardized pricing, which for a prep, back when I was competing, I would say I spent probably 10 to 15,000 on coaching.
For the 3 months? Mm-hmm. Is there like a career path in bodybuilding for the competitors? Or is this just like you do it one time, maybe do it again and again, or is there like an actual?
It depends. Some people want to do it one and done because it's a bucket list moment. You have those types of competitors.
Yeah.
Then you have the ones that want to go pro.
Okay. What does pro look like?
So pro is the desire to continue this for years. It's desiring to want to uphold this physique for the long game.
Yeah.
and compete internationally and make it to the Olympia. Like the people who truly dream of going to the Olympia, that's everyone who has a pro card, is because they have all thought that and know that it's possible for them.
And this is like, I'm using the word career because I'm saying like it's financial benefits
Yeah,
in
a
competing
lot of
in
the
this.
pros, like when you become a pro, you have more opportunities for sponsorships. Here's where I was very good at networking. I was an amateur and I was competing and I won my very first show and I had sponsors immediately
Wow.
because
Like,
I was networking. I was social at the events. I was open to visiting with people and just talking to them, and them seeing my transformation in such a short amount of time. They were like, wow, this girl's going to go pro and she's going to go big time. So I remember having 3 sponsors right after my first show.
What is a sponsor? What does that look like for someone? And
So,
what type of
yeah.
businesses are sponsoring the bodybuilders?
One was a supplement company. Actually, 2 were supplement companies. And then the third one was a bikini sponsor.
Okay.
So I was doing bikini modeling photo shoots for the bikini sponsor, and it would be internationally or here domestically in the States. It would consist of me flying down to California, helping her design suits. The funny thing is, this is interesting, she used to design costumes for the Playboy Mansion. My
Your
swimsuit,
sponsor?
yeah.
Oh.
Illusions by Aggie.
Shameless
We're dropping
plug, right?
here. She is a phenomenal seamstress, though. But her creativity with costume, like it was just incredible to see her innate ability. That not only did I have like competition suits from her, but like some of the designer stuff that we were making for my international shoots were just so creative. So she was like my very first sponsor. And then the 2 supplement companies came right after that. And it was just supplements that I had been using, that I had been repping, and they just saw me as a young, aspiring athlete. And they're like, wow, you're going to be big time. So the cool thing about the bodybuilding stage is just because someone doesn't go pro doesn't mean they won't. There are certain times when people find health challenges and they have to take a step back.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah.
And I felt myself in that category where I was so focused in on business, enjoying the success that we're having, and ultimately understanding that I had some health challenges I needed to work through. I needed to do some detoxing in order to get my body primed so that I could go back to the stage. And they always say this with any competitor, the stage will always be there. Like I said, you can compete in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. They have a category for 80-year-olds.
Yeah. So are you trying to tell me that you would anticipate on going back?
Oh yeah.
You would go pro.
I plan on going back to the stage.
Okay, so wait. Okay, I got to reframe what I said. I'm actually going to be building your business, the enterprise, as well as the bodybuilder. Yeah, yeah. Y'all look out, okay? Look out, because, y'all about to hear a lot coming from the bodybuilding industry. And I'm kind of torn right now between like over the last 2 days, right? We've talked a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I always try to figure out why, like, what's the meaning in something? Why is this happening? What's the purpose behind it? And I'm going to be honest with you, like, am I supposed to be a bodybuilding? Like, that crossed my mind.
Yeah.
And it left immediately. I was like, no way. It's not happening.
Yeah.
I was like, but if she wants to try, she can. Because I have this, like, I feel this energy from you.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and say the word we've all been saying, savage. I feel like you will savagistically, like, somehow I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be, like, 3 months in. I'm like, how the hell did you get me here?
Yeah, it happened so fast.
Look, she didn't even deny that she's going to do it. She was just like, yeah, and if it does happen, it's going to be just like that.
We're so fast.
And I'm like, I'm not saying I'd be close to it. I'm not saying I'd be open to it. But okay. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Look, she gets it. So goodness gracious. Okay, so the the next thing I want to ask you in regards to like what you're currently doing today, right? And we all experience the pivots. You've experienced them several times in your life.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that like every moment after that like traumatic breakthrough experience
Yeah.
or that aha moment that you had, like you continue to experience moments like that
Yeah.
time and time again.
Yeah.
And have you ever sat back or have you discovered why you continue to? Is it like, was that something that just kind of like broke the seal and you were just like, that's what it takes? And I'm going to find it or it's going to find me? Or was this something that was just like, you just accepted it? Like, why do you think that continued to happen?
I've been competitive since I was little.
Gotcha.
And I mean, I think this is where all of it stems from
Yeah.
is we had this sign in our barn growing up. I grew up on a cattle ranch, and when we had this sign up on the barn, it says champions don't have office hours.
Oh, I love that. However,
And we would read that every single day where
we got sleep hours. Right?
yeah, we have sleep hours. But we had high level show cattle that we showed, and we won quite a few shows.
Okay.
I had so many champion banners sitting up on the wall, and I just remember on the days where I just didn't feel like doing the work, my dad would come home. He was an auto auctioneer. He would come home and he'd be like, why aren't chores done? Why aren't calves worked? Why isn't this done? Why isn't that done? And I would just be like, oh, I just don't feel good right now. And he's like, does anybody in the Olympics feel like doing their job?
How old were you?
When it comes to, this probably started when I was 8 years old.
Ooh.
And then he would say, do you want to win the show or are you giving it up to somebody else? He said, if you want to win, the other people are working just as hard as you. They will not outwork you. And I just remember that was embedded in my brain anytime that I compete. In bodybuilding, I had no idea who these women were that I was competing with. All I knew is I was going to be on stage with a bunch of other women in sparkly bikinis. And I was like, great, they will not outwork me. I don't know who she is. I don't know if she's blonde, brunette. I can't picture her. All I'm seeing is a little blur of a lady silhouette in a sparkly bikini, and she will not outwork
You painted
me.
your own picture of your competitor. You was like,
Yep.
this is the woman.
And
that I'm
I was
competing
locked in
against.
every single
Yeah.
day on the days that I didn't want to show up.
Ooh, wee.
I would always remind myself, she will not outwork me. And I don't think it was a silhouette of another woman.
Yeah.
I think it was my future version of myself that I was picturing. And for me to be like, she is like, if I hold all the expectations, she is there. I can become her. I will not let her outwork me. So it just set me to a higher standard.
Yeah.
When I was like essentially like competing against myself.
Yeah. Your future self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like now that I think back, it was a brunette silhouette, but I've also been a blonde.
She was never blonde, was she?
Yeah, she was.
Oh, she was a blonde.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes her hair color changed, but in certain seasons of what I've gone through in business, there was a season of business I was a blonde.
While you were, so in the future
It's
self,
like
when you saw her,
when I was doing bodybuilding, I almost envisioned the future version of me,
as
and that's who I was competing against.
Right now, who do you see? Who are you competing against now?
I actually don't have a goal locked in on that. I'm seeing someone. Because my perspective has changed with business. And I want to take you through like the steps of like how I got to where I am now.
Okay.
Because we mentioned the first 10 clients. And then me setting up first plans.
Yes.
When I decided that I took on a few more clients and I was like, ooh, this is something I really want to keep doing. I realized I needed to have credentials. So I went back to
legit.
Yeah,
On paper,
an actual license. So I went back to school to become a dietitian, thinking that was it.
Oh, that paper
Like,
don't do nothing.
I'm gonna have this credential. I'm gonna be so locked in. I'm gonna get all these clients. Didn't really do anything for me.
Yeah.
Wasted time. So then I get to the point where I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. And I'm like, ooh, I'm this dietitian. I need to start finding like more clients. I need to gain more experience. Let me join with the hospital. It's going to be so much fun.
Oh yeah, you flag that paper. You probably got a job
Yeah.
for sure.
I got a job easy.
Yeah.
Here's where I had my first business conflict.
Okay. Ooh. Oh. Was it a government hospital?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
here's what happened. My first conflict of business was, I would say like, I think it was 3 months. 3 months after I'd worked for the hospital. And there were 2 doctors that were recommending me a bunch of patients.
Huh.
Those were the 2 doctors that were under review.
Okay.
Okay. When they were under review, that means they weren't selling enough medicine. So the hospital put them under review.
Okay.
They were sending me their patients that were very sick.
Yeah.
And I was healing them left and right.
Did these doctors lose their job?
These doctors sued me. And I almost lost everything.
Because you were supposed to be, you should have been prescribing.
Because I was healing their patients. And they couldn't prescribe any medicine because their patients no longer needed it. So I went to court, fought a few battles, and it drained everything out of my bank account. I had to start at square one again.
That's an experience in itself.
So this is why a lot of people ask me, you're one of the best dietitians out there. Why are you not working for certain hospitals? That experience that I had made me feel a way about, is that the place where people are truly going to heal holistically? Or is that not the environment for me? So when I had to reframe what that looked like for me, not that there isn't a place for medical care. There is. There absolutely is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a firm believer the emergency room is there for a reason. You know, there are certain medications that do need to be prescribed at certain times of your health journey.
Responsibly.
But I feel like there is a lot of malpractice. There is a lot of things that I don't approve of that space.
Yeah.
So after going that, and that was like my first rock bottom in business.
First, I want to say thank you for like treating those patients the way you felt you needed to treat them and not falling into the lines of the environment you were in. I'm just like, oh, well, let me just do it the way it's always been done.
Yeah.
Like, if you weren't doing that, you would not have experienced
Yeah.
that breakthrough, being fired, and, you know, so
Yeah.
kudos to you. Like,
And that's the thing. I was
Yeah.
privately contracted with them. So, you know, it was just, I was still taking in my clients like on my own. Like, I wasn't getting paid from the hospital. And that's why I'm like, how do you...
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Because I had full control of my business the whole time. It was all under the umbrella of CALLYN HAHN Enterprises, but I was getting referrals through those doctors. So I was partnering with the hospitals and then had that backlash.
Gotcha.
So they weren't paying me.
Okay, I was gonna ask, like, why were the doctors continuing to send you
Yes.
their
Yeah, so it was just an
patients?
agreement.
Got you. So it was in that
Yep.
agreement.
And it was where I had learned so much about medicine. Because these patients that were coming to me not only were prescribed something for their autoimmune condition, which was most likely misdiagnosed, but it was always, always, always coupled up with an anti-anxiety medication. After going through that experience with the lawsuits, hitting rock bottom, all of that,
Right.
then I decided, okay, I'm going to try to do this on my own, but I'm going to try to be more strategic and use social media. But I'm going to try to target people who have autoimmune diseases, because when I was seeing those transformations of people feeling the best they've ever felt in their life, and they've been struggling for 20 years, I was like, oh my gosh, like I finally helped someone that had been struggling for 20 years and the doctors couldn't figure them out.
Yeah.
That was almost as rewarding as taking somebody in through a bodybuilding show. Like, it was equally rewarding for me.
Yeah.
So I think that's where our business started to specialize in medical cases.
Wow.
and bodybuilders. Like it was one or the other because both transformations were incredible.
Yeah.
So as we progressed through the company, we noticed like my social media was lacking engagement. I was putting too many keywords in for illnesses.
Yeah. Oh,
And the algorithm
they gonna
was
know.
not liking it.
Oh, they don't.
So I couldn't get clients through the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't get clients on social media anymore. I wasn't doing bodybuilding. I didn't have the best physique of my life. This is where business started to get tricky.
Very. You're in a yeah.
I had 3 strikes against me. And by the grace of God, I was blessed an incredible business partner.
Yeah.
So Melissa had entered one of my challenges. She had dealt with a autoimmune condition. I had recessed all of her symptoms on that, and then took her into a bodybuilding show.
Yeah.
And right after that, she had won one of my challenges, and we just ended up going into business together because she spoke so highly of the work that I did.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, she had sales skills that I was like, oh my gosh, this is like God gifting me an incredible partner.
Yeah.
And we can do this together because all we wanted to do was help people. And I vividly remember us having a conversation on my balcony when I was in Charlotte, and we were just like, it was just like the perfect evening. We had had a girls' day, and we were sitting on the balcony dreaming together.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just thinking like, I went through my transformation and I felt so good. Melissa went through her transformation. We were like, if everyone could feel as good as we feel right now, we just want to conquer the world and inspire all of these women and create this massive army of women who are so dialed in and feel so good.
Yeah.
And I think that's where our passion for developing community and really growing the business came, and launching those 5-day challenges is we wanted to create some hype around health that's rooted in longevity. And for a safe place like our Fit Society group coaching environment, it blossomed through this whole process because we created an environment of like-minded women who don't believe in what society tells them because the dialed-in method is so different. They all live the dialed-in way of life.
Were they like that before they came in, or was that something they had to kind of...
Everybody's conditioned by society. I was conditioned by society. Melissa was too, you know, like all of us are trained and programmed to think a certain way about health and wellness.
Yeah.
And when you enter the bodybuilding space, when you enter dialed-in coaching, you really reframe your perspective on what healthy means for you because it's so different for everyone.
Yeah, that's powerful. And that's the power of community too. It's like you've built a community that has a belief system, a very common belief system throughout. So it's almost like you guys all speak the same language.
Yeah.
Of course. And like
exactly.
you guys, and it's not like...
I even have a terminology sheet in our portal. It's hilarious because when you say that we speak our own language, we actually do. There is, and a lot of these women are like, I've never even heard these words before. And I'm like, yeah, this is our own dialed in language. And this is how we speak. So when you come onto the group society calls,
you start to hear it.
Yeah, I was like, this is the language you're going to speak. And it has like official definitions of what everything means and everything. And they're like, this is like a whole different world of health and wellness. And I was like, yes. Like we have this term, like, and I think this is the one that shocks most people, is I call it a refeed.
Okay.
So when the body is actually needing more nourishment, like food is not always the answer for healing. Okay. But when your body is, we call it a refeed. And society calls it a cheat meal. Oh. So the difference between a cheat meal...
Refeed sounds nicer.
Yeah, a refeed is substantially different. But when you speak to yourself, words have frequency.
Yes, they do.
And when you say that you're going to cheat on yourself, have a cheat meal...
Then that's exactly what you...
If you have a partner, would you ever cheat on your partner?
No, not
No.
intentionally.
Nobody
No,
ever
of
would,
course not.
unless they're the type of person that doesn't have that belief system.
Yeah.
But why would you cheat on yourself?
Yeah.
And when we reframe, like, a lot of the terminology that society uses is why they're conflicted with being able to get results.
Yeah.
So words have meaning.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is why our terminology inside dialed in coaching is substantially different, because a refeed is not anything to do with inflammatory foods. A refeed is increased nourishment for what your body needs
This
at
is
that given time.
this is like this shows me how many like irresponsible trainers are just out there training all willy-nilly with no structure like
Yes.
this. Like, you guys have created the community, but there's structure in it, and
We want
there's
you to walk away healthy mentally.
oh my
We want you to enjoy the lifestyle. This is the long game.
yeah. So like, and that just kind of like, if I ever, granted, if I ever look for a fitness or whatever, I'm coming to you. But
You better.
like, for for anybody that's looking for a coach in anything, it's
Yeah.
like one, of course, there's like the identity that comes
Yeah.
with it, and there is like understanding, which I guess this could be conflicting in some ways. It's like knowing what kind of coach you're looking for if you don't even know how to coach yourself. Like, it's
Yeah.
like, so that's one where the caveat kind of is.
Well, and here's another thing too. Even myself, I am very capable of coaching. Clearly, I have cookie cutter athletes.
Yeah.
I will never coach myself because in this experience of you getting fully dialed in for an event, there is a lot of mental conflict that you're going to experience.
With yourself.
And it is easier if you take the decision fatigue and you put it on your coach. That's the thing, like, you're fighting internal battles, and any decision fatigue that you have, it drains your energy
And
supply.
this is physically coaching, because I feel like okay, I consider reading certain books as like a way to train your mind
Yeah.
to certain things.
Yeah.
But like, to what extent would you say coaching or training yourself needs to be handed off to someone? Like, it should no longer be you need to go find a coach for.
This is my perspective, especially if you want to be competitive in a sport.
Yeah.
At the time when I was competing, I hadn't dialed in 900 athletes or,
Yeah.
thousands of athletes or whatever it may be. I just picked a number. But
Yeah.
when it comes to coaches that have clocked certain, like, so many athletes,
True.
it is effortless for them to make decisions for you. So if you are the type of person that can execute a plan, that is your job.
Yeah.
You execute the plan, just like your coach told you. They're in charge of the decision making. And you have full trust in them, and they have full belief in you. Like, that partnership
Yeah.
is what allows people to get the most level of success. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen anyone go into the Olympia without a coach?
I've never seen anyone go into Olympia.
But there's not
I've
as
never-
I
oh.
was going to say, at a high caliber
I'm
of
sure it's not,
competing,
yeah.
there's not a single athlete that
Are
would
you
even
allowed to?
think of going in without a coach,
True. Not if you want to win.
because they want an easy prep. If you want an easy prep, you rely on the coach to do all the decisions for you so that
Yeah.
you can just focus on your cardio, your lifting, your eating, and that's it. Sleep. Let's add sleep in there.
Okay, so I want to kind of wrap this all in. I want to wrap it all up into like this nice, beautiful, I'm gonna say ball. That just doesn't sound right. I want into
Bow.
this package, this bow. Yes, bow. And like, you're like almost a unicorn, right? Like you're on your way there when it comes to the things
I
you've
feel like I've
accomplished.
always been a unicorn. It's
Well,
even on my coffee cup.
She is a unicorn. Like, I feel like I offended you by saying almost.
Yeah.
But I'm still learning more about you, and I know there's more for you in terms of growth and like the things you're gonna like
Yeah.
do for the world and the people around you, and like, I'm even excited to be a part of it. So there's there's something I noticed about every single, I guess, experience you had when it comes to the impact that you had on the other people, not the experience you had and the impact
Yeah.
that you experienced, but the experience that you provided to other people. And I would say like the fitness or any type of athletic industry is probably the number one industry, or like the number one. Wait, is the athletics called an industry, or is that just like a like?
Fitness.
Yeah, fitness. I would
Yeah.
say fitness and athletics are probably the number one industries that are capable of impacting people's lives as quickly as they have. Like, whether it's, you know, mental, physical. I think when it comes to doing something like without the help of medicines or, you know, hallucinogenics or, you know, whatever else it is that you can go to externally,
Yeah.
like the fight that you have within you that that industry has provided for people has had the quickest turnaround, it sounds like.
Yeah.
And so it seems like to me your mission is to continue to, one, break those barriers that like other people will see as impossible,
Yeah.
continue to do them faster, and to do them at a level that, not even that, to become so obsessed about solving these problems to the point that there's nothing you can't solve. And we talked about this a little bit over dinner, about just getting to a certain point of knowing too much. And I see you as becoming a person like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Well, and that's the thing
like,
with health and wellness.
protect her.
Yeah, our perspective has shifted so much
Yeah.
that even when I was competing, what I thought was healthy is so much different than what I think what's healthy now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there were a lot of things that I was, even though I had an incredible physique, I was blinded to a lot of the detox stuff that we've learned now
Yeah.
through being a practitioner. And
Wow.
it is just so crazy that every year, and it's because I'm pursuing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And here's the reality. I would never get this far in health to where I am if I hadn't been coaching. Because how many hundreds of people have I been advocating for to help find them answers, to help decode their patterns, to help reach optimal health for those people? You multiply it. That's why I have a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
Is because I've been the one in the background advocating for that individual
Yeah.
so that they can finally feel their best. Reading extra books, looking up extra research papers, spending hours upon end trying to find rabbit holes that I needed to go down to solve their problem. And we have this saying inside Dialed In Coaching that everything is figure outable. We have not yet found a case that couldn't be figured out. Now, what we do also want to mention is sometimes there are things that are out of our jurisdiction.
Yeah.
I can't do dental work.
Gotcha.
You know, I there's certain things on the holistic side that I don't have the actual credentials to do. I can't do surgery.
Yeah.
You know, there are certain things that are out of my wheelhouse, but can I point you in the right direction to the hundreds of doctors that we researched to find answers for some of our clients?
Yeah.
We've met some incredible resources along the way in terms of not only people, but different practices, different holistic facilities. Like there's so many different things that we've learned, and then the healing modalities themselves.
Right.
So expanding our minds to that and really diving all in with the clientele, that's why there is a vast amount of knowledge inside Dialed In Coaching.
So I have to ask this question, and then this is actually my last question, and
Okay.
I kind of want to reiterate the big aha moment for me. How many coaches in this industry, in the bodybuilding industry, have the kind of background that you do that gives you the leverage that you do?
None that I know of. Not a single one.
I'm sure that's
Because I've even reached out to old coaches that I have been connected with in the past,
yeah.
just to ask them questions to see if they know any of the work that I'm doing now.
Yeah.
And I got a bunch of blank
So
responses.
you have wondered that same thing, because I'm like,
Yeah, because I was like, wait, surely.
yeah,
Because I would look at my old meal plans,
Surely.
and I would like, okay, my coach had me on an anti-candida diet and stuff like that. So I had reached back out to him, and I'm like, hey, is there a specific reason you put me on this diet? I'm just curious. And he's like, nope, those are just high success rate bodybuilding foods. That it's like, oh, they have not decoded the patterns yet.
yeah. And that's the moment I had, was like, surely like there's not bodybuilding coaches in here coaching people into a potentially harmful position that they don't know how to teach them how to maintain after the fact.
Yeah.
Because
so this is why you see a lot of athletes rebound.
Yeah.
Is because their coaches don't have the capacity to, on the actual rebuild on the back end,
Yeah.
point them in the right direction.
Yeah.
Is because they're highly aware of detoxification of internal organs and how sensitive your body is at the end of a prep. That they say, oh, eat all the sweets, open up the fridge, you have access to all these foods. Well, foods fuel the co-infection that's living inside people.
Yeah.
So taking people on a reverse, it is a very strategic approach that one has to take in order to navigate an athlete the right way.
Yeah, it reminds me of this, was it, for every problem you solve, there's 10 more problems that arise.
Yeah.
And that's like, it's so true that like, and I don't like, it's not in me as much as I probably should remind myself that like, okay, I've solved this problem. Let me try to be aware of the 10 other things, or at least know that there's other issues that are going to exist. But I feel like that's very important. Like, that's powerful. I feel like that's valuable and that's important, because we're talking about people's health, their bodies, and you have that background that, hey, I can coach you into this amazing body, but just know that there are like potentially harmful things that can happen if you don't do this responsibly and properly. And so like, that's huge. And I got to circle this back around, because what you taught me, you just taught me something like very valuable. And I really, really hope to see you start showing this part of you going forward, is the person that you've become that has attracted these people and will continue to attract people as long as you continue to show up every single day as that person. Because, and you're going to continue to, become more, but you call it that, what, attraction marketing? I'm not sure I've ever heard it, but I'm going to go ahead and like attraction marketing. Huh?
Trademark it.
Yeah. Like magnet marketing, attraction marketing, like that is what you did. And I'm leaning into that 100%. Like, I'm all about becoming more, and people are attracted to people that they either want to see themselves like, or just like admire. And so like, I'm familiar with all the forms of marketing. This is a form of marketing, what we're doing right now. And I haven't really quite like put my finger on a favorite, like, oh, this is my favorite, this is more powerful. I feel like depending on what you do, who you are, and whatever, you find what works for you.
Yeah.
But I almost wouldn't argue that what you did made things so much easier. I mean, it took a lot to get there.
Yeah.
The work you put in. But you became somebody, and you didn't have to go and find the people.
I don't chase, I attract.
Ooh, that's attractive. You don't chase your, and I mean, if you ask anybody, if you ask me, I'd rather it be that way.
Yeah.
And it's not like a ego thing or arrogance. It's just, I do want to become a better person, and I would like to be likable. I don't care whether or not people like me, but I feel like my purpose and the value I plan to serve to the world is good, and will be for the people who want it, need it. And I think
I appreciate
you've
everything.
done like some amazing work.
Yeah. I
You,
appreciate everything that you do because like you see the value in people's work that most people don't take the time and energy to really focus in on. And the amount of, especially like our conversation before we got started. You know, when I decided, like, I gave you the idea of, like, hey, I think we need to do this project. I think it'd be fun to work on this together. That initial meeting that we had, you spent so much time and attention visiting with me to fully understand exactly what I need and understand my business from a deeper level because you'd already seen me at events before. But when you were like really getting into the nitty gritty of like what we do, you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know this. There's so much room for opportunity to showcase some areas that people probably don't see.
yeah.
And it's very valuable to have someone in your corner that can see things so clearly. Like you are outside the jar and you can see our business so clearly that that right there, most videographers, most people in the creative space do not have that level of attention. And that's one thing that I sincerely appreciate about
Thank you.
your level of depth with work that you do.
Yeah.
And I want to share with everyone watching, like, how incredibly valuable it has been to us. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor and it's a pleasure. Like I remember we had a conversation. I think it was recently. Like it was a video you shared with me, Myron's, about like just taking interest in something. It's like people
yeah.
come, yeah, because well, I don't know what it was, but because you're interested in something, it was something. And I was like, oh, well, like what am I interested in? And there was a number of things. Of course, marketing is just like the number one thing. You might think it's videography. No, it was at one point, but I've just added to my list of interests bodybuilding, and I just want to let everyone know, like it's it's okay to have a niche, right? Niche. I don't like
Yeah.
using that word anymore. Of interest, and marketing is always going to be that thing because that's the thing that I know. Have that one thing, but have a bunch of other things around it that allow you to one, challenge yourself, but also serve more people, because I feel like that's like I never knew this was possible. I always felt like I had to shoot models, or I had to shoot this, I had to shoot events, or I had to shoot it. Like no, like I'm literally using the power of visuals to help bring value to a business, value and awareness to a business.
Yeah.
And I never saw it that way until people like you. People like Sales Girls. People like Myron.
But what do
Oh
all
my
of those
goodness.
people have in common? They have high standards.
Oh my goodness.
And when
Ooh.
you look at the value of work that you do, it's not just, you're not just in the creative space. Your level in terms of your standards in the creative space are higher because you've worked with the elites. You've worked
And
with
I mean,
Myron.
okay.
You've worked with sales girls. You know, you've worked of people of a higher caliber. And when you have your standards set so high of what their expectations are, that now becomes your new baseline. So ultimately, when it comes to attraction marketing, you're going to draw in the people of that caliber.
And I think I agree with that, right? I do, but as it pertains to me, I'm not sure if that's what I meant, right? So yes, the standard is there for the client, right? But for me, the way it happened was they thought they needed me for something, and that's what they came to me for. Same thing.
Yeah.
They came to me for this. I delivered them something totally better than what they expected. And now it's like, whoa, like, okay, it's like you do this for us, and it's almost like you like grew this business with us, or you kind of made yourself a part. And it's like we both kind of had that aha moment. They had it, and they
Yeah.
introduced it to me, and like, hey, this is what you actually did for us. I just want you to know. Thankfully, they told me. Otherwise, I'd still like think I'm doing something totally different.
Yeah.
But like, I value like that feedback. And the reason why I say that what you said may not pertain to me is because I feel like anyone else that may have been in my position may have been told the same thing, but did not.
Deliver the same
Yeah,
result.
they didn't deliver the same
Yeah.
result, or they didn't receive it and pivot
Yeah.
and take it the
And
way
that's
that
what makes you exceptional.
Yeah.
Yes, you've had those, opportunities to work for the elite, but you've also been given creative space
yeah.
to deliver to a standard they've never had before. So that's what I was meaning by standards. Like, you've worked for the elites, which is a standard, but you've also been given that space to create and that open opportunity of, like, most of the time the elites are going to be like, yes, use your creative brain.
Yeah.
Like, you do work. Like, we hired you because we know for certain you can deliver.
I want to ask you, what would you, and this is for people like coaches like you, people that are just entrepreneurs that probably frequently hire videographers. I hate using the term. I'm not a videographer. I used to be. That are frequently hiring videographers. What would you tell them? What advice would you tell them when seeking out I'll let you name it, videographer, content creator, right? Yeah. What's the advice you can give them?
Know what you're looking for. The biggest thing is do your research. I mean, we had how many conversations?
Yeah.
We had several conversations, and for me, ultimately, it was prospecting. Like, is Trey going to be a right fit for us in the future? And I actually knew very quickly. I knew by New York. When we were in New York, I was like, oh, yeah, we're going to work. But I had to wait for the right project for you.
Okay.
Because some of the projects that we've done before have been like cinema, and that's not in your genre.
Yeah.
And then other ones, it was like, well, I don't know if we have a scope of work big enough that would be worth your time.
Yeah.
Or our messaging was changing so much in that position in business when we were refining sales pages, we were refining everything, and we're like, okay, we're not in a position to have something yet because our messaging isn't dialed in.
Gotcha.
So it's once we got the messaging dialed in and we got, okay, here are the deliverables that we actually need and scope of project, that's when I felt comfortable to just pull the trigger, because I'm like, great, this is something I know he's going to hold to a higher standard. Like, he's going to take our project, run with it, hold it to an incredible standard, and we're all going to win.
Yeah. Yeah. And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Wow. It's my turn. If you guys are looking for a coach, like I'm letting you know now, when it comes to fitness, mindset, nutrition, and the last one I'm gonna let y'all figure out, y'all gotta go follow her, because there's 4 pillars, it's not just 3. So to figure that out, like, it's the most important one, by the way. If you are looking for a coach in those 4 areas, 3 areas, but 4, make sure that you understand the risks that come with becoming the person or the whatever it is that you're trying to be coached into, and make sure that that coach can help guide you through those casualties, those obstacles, or whatever it may be. Make sure they're qualified in more than just the area of what it is you come to, because when they solve one problem, there's going to be several other issues. And if your coach can only fix one thing for you, and you cannot come to them for anything else, I think that is a problem, a big problem, especially when it comes to your physique and your mental. So that's all I have to say. Basically, come to CALLYN. Come to CALLYN. But CALLYN, I appreciate your time. Like, this has been like a well of just knowledge and advice and value, and I'm glad to be able to share you with my platform. And I know this won't be the last time.
No, not at all.
I
We're
plan-
definitely doing this again, but I appreciate you inviting me into your creative space and being able to share my story and guidance to others, and creating the amazing platforms that you do. Like, people need you. so much, and you're doing incredible work, and I'm super proud of you for all of this.
I don't hear that much. I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, CALLYN HAHN, y'all. CALLYN, where can they follow you? Like, what's your...
Yeah, so Instagram, CALLYN.dialedincoaching. We also have dialedincoaching.com. And then I'm sure you guys will see plenty of the ads that Trey has filmed for us this week. We'll be rolling out several ads going into our group coaching container, or some different courses that we have, some different resources that we have. So some incredible stuff coming for 2026, and we're so excited about it.
Yeah, definitely make sure you follow her, because the content that we're doing. If you want to see me push her into a pool,
You might.
follow. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all for watching. If y'all want to see more episodes like this, if there was anything in this episode that you thought was valuable, please comment it below. Make sure you hit the bell button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see y'all on the next episode.
Bye.